Anybody remember maps? Rand McNally maps, right? We were talking about this with the men today. Those big maps. My brothers and I'm the oldest of three. My dad had a big Ford LTD. I mean, the back seat was like a couch. It was huge. Glove compartments were enormous. You could stick a ton of stuff in there. And we were just far enough back. This was cool. We were just far enough back that my dad's arm couldn't reach us. And often on trips, family trips across country, he would give us maps. And we'd open those maps up, my brothers and I, and really they were that big when you got them all open. And you know, like I do, if you opened up one of those Rand McNally maps, what are you guaranteed not to be able to do ever again? Close them back, right? But we could look at the map and we could find mile markers, we could find exits, we could find roads that we were on, right? This is before Garmin and Thompson and GPS. And they gave you bearings, they gave you an understanding. So tonight, I want to walk you through fairly quickly a map that we created that gives us a little bit of our bearings on the larger story. And if you want one of these maps, I think there's a resource table. Which way is it, Tom? Out in the lobby that you can grab one of these maps, maybe one per family. We brought them for the guys today, and we have quite a few extra that we can give to you. So let's walk through this map, okay? What you and I need to understand is that we live right in the middle of an incredibly significant intersection of two realms, the spiritual realm and the physical realm. Which realm matters most? The spiritual realm. That's where we're supposed to get our bearings. That's where we're supposed to have understanding. That's where we're supposed to have our vantage point over the things that are happening in the day-to-day. So you know these passages, right? Matthew 6:19, do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, physical realm, but rather lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven where moth and rust do not destroy, thieves cannot break in and steal. So there's an accounting that we're to have in a spiritual realm. Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of God. Where is that? And we'll talk about kingdoms in just a minute. Colossians 3:1, set your mind on things above, not on the things of the earth, for you have died. How have you died? Physically? Spiritually. You have died and been reborn, born again. And then you look at Ephesians 6:10, talks about the armor of God and the spiritual battle we're in. Spiritual battle? Spiritual battle. We're living in a battle. And then Philippians 3:20 talks about our citizenship being in heaven. That's our name is written in the Lamb's book of life. And our spiritual realm is how we are to understand the world that we live in. And the scriptures talk about family and finances and relationships and work, but from a spiritual standpoint. You with me? That's where we're to have our vantage point and our view. So the spiritual realm matters most. And in that realm exists two kingdoms. The kingdom of darkness and the kingdom of light. How are these kingdoms getting along? They aren't. This is a very ancient war that we have been born into. And if we were living in Belgium or Holland in 1938, 39, or 40, would I need to convince you that you're living in a war? That there's this Nazi German war machine? No, you would, somehow it would be in the physical realm so palatable, so tangible, you wouldn't need any convincing. What you would want is training and understanding and how to not come under its influence and the effect. So these two kingdoms are at war. Here's what I would say is the context and blockbuster of our story. You and I live in the greatest love story set in the midst of the fiercest battle. We live in the greatest love story set in the midst of the fiercest battle. Think about The Notebook meets Saving Private Ryan. See, all the great stories, all the epic stories that we love are just telling us something about our story. That's why we love them. Ecclesiastes says, God has put eternity in our hearts. So that's why you get emotional every time Maximus kills Commodus in the gladiator ring and evil is defeated. Why do we want to see evil defeated? Why is that something that moves us? Because it's in our story. And our hearts know the truth